Hello, listeners. Welcome to the Dream Stream. I am Yiskah Koock,
And I am Ellen Ronis. Welcome to everybody.
and we're here to discuss dreams and explore our dreams. So, Ellen, I think you said you have one. Let's just jump right in.
Yeah. At first I thought, wait, did we do this one last week? I don't think we did.
I think we did. I know for sure we did
Yeah.
mine.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's
I
what it
don't
was.
think we did yours. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a pretty funny dream and I actually I had a couple, but I'll just start with this one. So I'll say it in first person real time.
Mhm.
I am skiing with my friends Barbara Jean and Scott, who live in the Hudson Valley, very dear friends. And I'm skiing with them, and we decide to go. We come down this big, really big mountain, like we just do this great run, and we start to go home, and then decide we want to go back up. Um, so I say, I really want to go back up, but I need to go home first and get something. I don't know what I was needing to get, but I needed to somehow prepare or pack up. I'm going to read it, actually be easier.
Yeah.
So we go back to this apartment that is ours, that we're all sharing, and it's this beautiful apartment. It feels a little bit like a combination of Brooklyn and San Diego. It's got like a
Okay.
lot of flowers like San Diego, but it's kind of got the brownstones in the front stoop. And but an apartment that we share, and it's really big and gorgeous. And so I go in and I go into my room, and um I'm okay, wait. Let me just back up. Okay, so I go into the apartment and there's all this construction stuff, like drop cloths and paint cans and ladders, and there are signs on the wall like wet paint, and the door is kind of half ajar because something's being repaired, and everything is just sort of like incomplete and undone, but in the process of being fixed or repaired or renovated. And I go into my room, and I'm packing for this next venture of going down the mountain. And I'm looking through all my clothes, and there's all these wool clothing, like, but everything was like yellow and pink and fuchsia and orange, like very bright, like the no cool colors at all. It was all these warm colors, like leg warmers and sweaters and scarves, and they're all very similar quality. But I was like, it was one of those dreams that I've had before, where I'm like rummaging through all these clothes, and I don't know what are these mine, and what do I need, and this sort of like frustration, or like, yeah, like I have to hurry up, but I don't know what I'm looking for, that kind of thing. And another piece of this is that the toilet isn't flushing, like, as to go with the whole like renovation. So the toilet isn't flushed, but there's like a pink, like a balloon on top of the toilet, and it's kind of blowing up. So it's like somehow the air from the toilet. It was such a weird piece of the dream, but it felt significant somehow. I don't know. Yeah, that's like a weird piece of it, but
That's the smell
yeah,
you want, amplified by like a balloon.
I know.
Run.
Oh, yeah, maybe it was going to take it away somewhere. It was going to take away, like the energy and the smell and the whatever. It was just going to somehow take it away. I don't know what that would anyway. Just felt sort of somehow like a piece of the dream, but that was the whole dream. And I have a lot of reality checks, if
Well,
you
let's
want.
start with the title. What will you
Um,
title it?
um, an adventure.
Okay. And just to say for our listeners and for ourselves, we title our dreams so that we can be, it's almost like an arrow. So
Yeah.
it's kind of showing us where we should really explore, you know.
Yeah, right. I think it's kind of like, um, I mean, I'm riffing on this just with you, just to even get more clear myself. Like, I
Sure.
think the title is also right, like an arrow. That's a good way to put it. And it's the first thing that comes up, right? The first thing that comes up as the most significant thing, even though I don't, if I analyzed it, I'd probably pick another thing as being more significant.
Yeah,
But I think what comes up first as a
right.
title
Right.
is really important because it's something coming from the unconscious as like, I think that's important.
And our teacher, Robert Moss, says, what do you want to know from the stream? In a way that's just not as verbal, but I feel
Mhm.
like in the title, we kind of, I don't know if this is accurate. Tell me what you think, but I think that is like something significant to explore.
Oh, definitely.
Almost making that question, you know, already asked.
Right, exactly. Right, exactly. It's like, what's
Yeah,
the adventure? Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's possible.
so yes, please do the reality check.
Yeah, so Barbara Jean and Scott are dear friends of mine, and I lived with them when I was post divorce. And for like 3 years I lived with them in she had a big house, and I
In
rented a
the
room.
Hudson Valley, you said.
Hudson Valley, yeah.
What
And
town, may I ask?
we were in Germantown
Okay,
on the other side of the river from you.
okay.
And it was really a godsend. Living with them was just an absolute godsend for me. I mean, it really just they really helped pick me up off the floor, and just being with other people and feeling very supported and loved in the process of going through divorce. And we have recently been talking about moving to San Diego. Like, I'm thinking about moving to San Diego. They are also, because they have their daughter
Man,
just
I
moved.
heard you slip that in a couple moments ago. It's like, wow, have you lived in San Diego before?
No, I have not, but I have a very close friend who lives there, and I visit often.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
I
yeah,
love it. I
that's
don't know if
the
I really,
ideal weather. That's the ideal weather for someone with MS to live. That's the ideal
okay,
environment. So
really.
perhaps
Well, it is quite
when I
ideal.
go to high school, I
It's
will
very,
also come.
yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how, so whatever. There's a lot of it's not, imminent. Let's just put it that way. It's just something that's
Sorry
kind of
for like interrupting your flow with the stream. So yeah, so that's who these friends are.
yeah, so that's who these friends are. And also I immediately had to call Barbara Jean and tell her this dream because Scott is a construction person. He does, and he's always like
Yes.
nothing's ever finished. It's always like she's always complaining about that, like, oh my God, this project isn't finished, and there's tools around and there's ladders everywhere. And
I
like
know
she's
so many couples like this.
yeah, she so appreciates that he's actually like doing things, for her and for the home, and he's so talented, but he just somehow completing the projects it seems like a challenge for him. So there's that reality. There's a that reality check. None of us ski. I don't know if Barbara Jean skis. We never skied together ever. I don't even ski. So that's don't know why that happened in the dream. None of the clothes that I was picking up or looking through or looking
Well,
for were
can we
familiar.
pause a moment?
Yeah.
Let's look at the skiing. So it sounds pretty adventurous, and you say that in your title, right? Right. Say it again, the title,
Just an adventure.
an adventure. So that's some, I mean, I don't ski, but I did in fifth grade. That's some adventuresome skiing, downhill skiing, it feels to
Mm,
me.
totally.
Are you a skier?
I'm not a skier. No, I just said that. I don't ski at all. I mean,
Okay.
I have skied like here
Yeah.
and there, but I
Yeah,
really don't
yeah,
at all. I mean, I've got 2 hip replacements, and it makes me nervous to even think
yeah,
about it.
yeah.
I'm sure I'd probably be fine, but like, don't want to ruin that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I just don't ski. It's not my thing.
Look at that, what is that? Like rushing downhill, so clear, having such a good time that I'm going to do it again. I just need to get something. But the downhill skiing, there's sort of like a freedom. It's like the winds of change. It feels to me like the winds of change.
Hmm.
And and so then if I am the dreamer, then I'm looking at winter clothes, but everything is like puffy sweaters that are pastel colors.
Like bright colors, very bright, bright
Oh,
orange,
like
bright
neon.
fuchsia, yellow. very bright,
Okay.
very 60s. It felt very 60s, the
Oh,
colors.
okay.
There's kind of like, yeah,
Flowers, yeah.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, yeah,
So, oh, that's fun. So
yeah,
we've talked about, you've had clothing dreams. You know,
yes,
that's like a repeating theme, which is
yes,
so
yeah,
fascinating to me. And we've talked about, I think Robert Moss had said to someone who also had had a dream that she was changing clothes. And he was like, yeah, we're just trying to find what fits our garment now, like that's something like that, like, oh, this won't do, and
right, anymore, right? This,
anymore,
right, right. No,
anymore.
that really works. That really works for where I feel like I'm at in my
Yeah,
life,
yes,
looking for who I am now, what's
yeah,
gonna fit, what's my style, who
yeah,
am I in the world? Yeah, absolutely, for sure, that suits. And maybe if I could just riff a little bit here on the whole thing, the significance of certain things. There's really so much in this for me, that applies to my kind of waking life.
yes.
Um, I don't ski, but the adventure, like the taking me out of, I'll say, yeah, taking me out of the ordinary,
Mhm.
right? Just being taken out of the ordinary where, it's just this adrenaline. It's just a kind of a rush where you can only focus on exactly what's happening in this
Exactly,
moment.
exactly.
I crave that beyond anything else that I could want and crave, is to be present. It's like, I guess we all have that goal in some way, right? Be
If
present
we
in.
have that goal, I feel like if we have that goal, that's when we're blessed,
Yeah,
because
well, that's true, right? Not everybody
not
has a.
everybody,
No.
know, knows to even
Yeah,
look for that goal.
that's a very good point. So I guess I would say I am blessed with that, but
That's
I'm not there. I don't, do you ever get there? I don't know. But anyway, that
that a
felt like,
cottonwood tree behind you?
no, right behind me, right here, it's an
Yeah,
apple tree.
that's what?
This is an apple tree.
Oh, is it?
Mhm. And I get apples, like actual eating apples. This one, this little pink thing right here,
Yeah,
I don't know what that is actually. It's just ornamental, but it's so pretty.
so
I
pretty.
don't know if you can see it, but it has like the branches are
No,
kind of a
no, I
bluish.
don't see.
Like the flowers are pink, but the branches themselves are almost like a purpley kind of
It
color.
looks like you have like a landscape painting
Yeah,
behind you, that you're in your
really.
little adobe house
Yeah.
and you
Well,
have
yeah, it's really such a sweet little setup here.
really
It's
just beautiful
yeah.
landscape
Those are right here. These
painting.
are
Yes.
those are lilacs, but they're not in bloom
Oh,
yet.
oh, I was just thinking of lilacs last night.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait for this. So
In
yummy.
my manifestation, visualization, I always try to be present, you know, and take in the senses, because that's what I have learned from different, masters. And so I was like, okay, so I could feel like my feet on the squishy earth right beside like a river, and the grass like, sticking to my feet. And I could hear like the birds singing, or and I was smelling. I was like, what do I smell? And I was like, okay, I smell lilacs. So I think that's the most beautiful scent I have
It is
ever
like,
experienced.
I agree. It is absolutely on the top of my list of most gorgeous
Yeah.
scents. Yeah, on the planet
Yeah.
for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's pretty intoxicating.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, remind me, how does this dream unfold, unravel, at the end?
yeah, so let's see. Does it actually unravel in any way? No. It just ends where I'm shuffling through clothing and feeling a little bit anxious
Right.
because they're waiting for me. They're waiting for me in the
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
I'm anxious
Oh,
about.
they're in the car. I was picturing them waiting for me up at the ski mountain.
No, I think they're in the car. We all get back in the car and we were like, yeah, let's go up again. But I said, I have to go get some things. I have to pack. I have
Okay.
to
Oh,
pack.
maybe you were staying out. If this is
No,
my
there
dream,
was
I'm
no
wondering,
feeling of, No,
I
there's
was
no feeling that I'm staying overnight or anything. It just
okay,
feels like I have to pack.
okay.
I don't know what I'm packing for, but I'm
It's
just
an
packing
enigma. I love it.
these clothes. And
The toilet part. So,
yeah, I don't know what that is.
well,
It could
I have some ideas.
okay. It doesn't feel significant, but it felt like it was such a good distinct.
I've had so many, and in history, so many people have had toilet overflowing dreams
Mhm.
and experiences of like, different different things, but like shit backing up into my bathtub, when I lived, I don't even remember where. But so now I'm trying to remember what Jeremy Taylor of blessed memory used to say. I think for him it was the difference between like peeing or pooping,
Mhm.
and I think when it was pooping, he was like, we have to like unlearn some of the things that were imbued on us in our childhood, like stamped on us, like any like ignorant parent or that taught not the way that one would believe or whatever. Like pooping is really, it's almost like transmutation. And peeing wasn't so harsh. And I think there's also kind of a cleansing aspect, right, to peeing.
I
I
feel
think,
like yeah, like that is like that's more like a release.
yeah,
Usually
I
feels to me more like a release. I don't know. I don't have pooping dreams, so I don't really. I've never. I
right,
don't know.
right.
I don't know what that is for me. But
Stephen Larson is fond of telling a story about Carl Jung and one of his another sons that comes to see him and has a dream that he's upstairs making a giant poop. And that's what he leads in the therapy session. So I think it's quite funny. But yeah, and it's interesting because turkey vultures, they eat carrion, they eat
hmm
roadkill, or um, after they do that, they pee on their legs to sterilize them.
Hmm.
So, and that's interesting.
Hmm. Did not know that.
Yes,
Well, there's nothing in my dream that was about pee or poop. It just was like, I don't know.
somebody else's. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was basically that couldn't be, it couldn't be flushed.
Yes.
So that's kind of interesting. Like
Block, not
somebody
overflowing, block.
somebody else's stuff in a way,
Yes.
like somebody else's like
Else
whatever.
has a block. But in a way, it's stifling me, right? I need to
Well,
pee.
that's right. That's true. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. It didn't have any of
Maybe
that.
I just have to, just look. I like to like hold hold the symbols loosely and just think,
Mhm.
oh, this kind of fits that, or is somebody's uh block
Mhm.
interfering with me, is my question that I would ask myself.
The only thing I can say is that, imagining or thinking about living with other people in a lot of ways is very, very appealing to me. But also
Mhm.
the ways in which it isn't,
Yes.
right? Which is like, oh, you have to deal with other people's shit.
Yes. Oh, literally.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean,
yeah,
not literally, but
like
not
literally and
literally at all.
figuratively have to deal with other people's shit. So, and that's true, it's true. And I guess, there is something in my psyche, in my waking life, even, or, that I think
Yeah.
thinking about that, if I am going to live with people,
Yes.
in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a partner or like a
Or
group of
roommates
friends or
or
some friends or whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
it's really good to
That's an
know.
awesome. That's awesome.
But I'm sorry, you were talking over me, so I
I
didn't hear.
was saying it's awesome that the dream was so like explicit. I love when the dream symbols kind of come in with a like
Yeah,
holding a flag. Like
yeah, it did feel like there's not a big mystery here. Like
yeah.
it feels like a lot of, and so the other interesting thing that I want to say is that like a couple of days after this was this past Sunday, I woke up and I didn't even make the connection really. but I was like, "Oh my God, I cannot just do the same thing I always do today. I have got to get the fuck out of here."
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I haven't had a real
Ooh,
vacation, I haven't had a real change. I just had to get, so I just decided to, like, go to Taos, which is just like an hour and 10 minutes away or
love
whatever.
it. Love it.
And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take the high road and I'm gonna do," just have this. I didn't know what I was really gonna get up to. I just knew I had to get out. And it took me like a third of the day to kind of like go through all my, how like you think you're gonna be in some new adventure, and but you're just yourself
Oh
in
my
the new
God.
place, like wherever you
Yes.
go, you are. So that's kind of how it was. But at some point, something shifted, and it was just I just want to tell the story of this day
Yeah.
in a very brief
Yes, please.
fashion. So I end up at this lovely, it's called Farmhouse Cafe, and it's just a lovely little breakfast spot, and it's pretty popular. And so I'm there, and there right next to it, there's a gallery that has a sculptor who does these wind sculptures, and they're just
Mm.
gorgeous. They're just gorgeous. Like they catch the wind and they spiral around. I
Oh,
have some pictures
wow.
actually. And because the gallery is right next to cafe, the cafe has all of these sculptures, and they're literally
Sure.
just one right next to the other. So
Sure.
I have this magical moment where I'm just sitting on this chair that happens to be plunked in the middle of the sun, in the middle of this like garden of wind sculptures. And I finally, after all of the mind chatter of, oh my God, there was so much traffic and I'm so grumpy and I know
Yeah.
I'm on an adventure, but I feel the same, like whatever my mind was just
Exactly.
like vomiting all this stuff. I finally settled in and I was like, oh my God, this is so magical. And then from there on, I ended up meeting this guy, nothing romantic or sexual or
Okay.
anything. It's just he had a 2-month-old puppy. We just ended up sitting at this trailhead in a parking lot on the
Yeah.
ground. Like he gave me this flower of a branch that he was
Oh,
carrying. And
lovely.
I gave him a feather that I had picked up, and he's like, "Oh, this is so serendipitous because I make dream catchers and I've got them in my van." He lives in his van, a little bit homeless,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't, not homeless, but he lives in a van. And
Puppy.
um,
Oh
and he
my
has
God.
oh my
That's
God, the puppy
so
was
the type I would have
so.
been all about when I was 20.
I ended up having this incredibly magical experience with this guy. I mean, we just
Yeah.
sat and had this incredible conversation, this really um he definitely was a different thinker, different kind of thinker, and he thinks differently about things than I do in a certain way. But it
Yeah.
was okay. And like he would say things, and I'd be like, no, I don't know if really believe that. Like I was so myself with him,
Yes.
and it was just really magical. And he ended up giving me a dream catcher with the feather that I gave him. He put the
Oh,
feather in the dream catcher that I picked and gave it to me. So it's just a
beautiful.
beautiful, magical
Yeah.
day.
The
And
feather was dropped for you.
well, I guess I just want to say the whole thing was like about having an adventure.
Yes.
And I already kind of was on about it in a dream
Oh,
that I needed some kind of an adventure where I
love it.
could be put in the moment. And there
Exactly.
was this thing, there was this person, there was this moment. And I took it. I
Love
just took it. And it was, yeah. So anyway, thank you for letting me share that because it actually felt
you
like
for
a waking
sharing
dream.
that. That's what when when we hear everything that befalls a human being happens first in a dream.
Mhm.
That's a verse in the Talmud. And then, so even though it's different things, like downhill skiing isn't
Mhm.
reflected in what happened in waking life,
Mhm.
it's an adventure. So there's an adventure there and causing me to be very present, which
Mhm.
is what the dreamer had said.
Mhm.
And then I have this adventure. So I love that. I love seeing like however loosely that could
Mhm.
be connected.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
that
Really, really, really.
question, really.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
And like I said earlier, there wasn't this the dream was very clear. It wasn't very like super mysterious, really. There was just a lot of things that made sense in terms of what I know about these people. And
Yes.
um you know yeah.
And there's one thing that you're glossing right over,
Uh-huh.
and
Which thing?
that's maybe you might want to think about getting a puppy. Oh
Oh,
no,
I can't have a dog,
I
trust me.
forgot.
I've thought about
Oh,
it 1,000 times, and I
that would
just
make
cry
like
when I think about
a
getting
new
a dog.
puppy, like water heater like belly, not like smooth hairless belly of a puppy and the little alligator teeth. Puppy breath. I mean, there's so much to love about a puppy.
Yes, there is. And that's not
I am
happening.
so sorry.
Yeah.
When you move to San Diego, just make sure that you can
That is-
have a puppy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
Oh,
very,
here's the birds,
yeah.
the
It's
New
really
Mexico birds.
kind of like a perfect moment in the day where it's not too usually it's very windy this time of year, and it's actually very gentle this morning, so it'll probably get a little windier later, but
Yes.
appreciating that right now.
Hmm. I have
um,
I have chimes that I would maybe send you to hang right up there.
well, I actually have like around the corner, like sort of around this corner here is
Yeah.
where the front door is, and there's some little chimes that were here,
Oh, lovely.
somebody put them up, just little very,
Yeah.
very sort of a high pitched kind of a,
Yeah.
yeah, little chimes. You barely hear them,
Nice.
but
I have the same an identical situation here in my apartment. Someone left their little tingly chimes and I just keep them there.
yeah.
Very sweet. And sometimes I can hear them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah. So is there anything that you want to share? Or...
You know, I don't know. I don't think my dreams, I mean, I have been writing them down, but again, it's the problem of judging one's own dreams instead of seeing what could be interesting in it. It was something about politics. It was just something I don't even want to entertain.
Mhm, mhm.
And but I did want to say something when you were talking about like who am I now? How do I express myself now? Who am I now? And I was thinking how very much like parenting that question is. I loved looking at Phelan and Lev. I love looking at them like, who is he now? You know, a person changes so much, and especially we notice it in childhood, and especially at puberty, you know, and there's a lot of change. But that's always been, you know, the living question. It's like who is this person now?
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
we should give ourselves permission to also change, change our mindset, change
Definitely.
something in our life that we're not happy with. You know, we have to allow ourselves the change that we delight in with our children.
Yeah. And almost like we have to be our own witness to the change,
Yeah.
right? Like, because it's hard to see how we're changing or what it needs to look like, what clothes I need to put on now. It's
Yeah.
hard to see that from within yourself. And
Yeah.
so, some of the work I do in authentic movement and some of the coaching work I'm doing is really about like teaching people how to be the witness, how to be able to be like kind of almost separate some part of yourself and kind of be over here
Yes.
watching yourself go through your life a little bit. And
Yeah.
that
Very.
doesn't look right anymore. Those clothes don't fit me anymore. They
It's
fit me.
just a objectification of oneself. I don't even think it's an objectification. We're not saying I'm
No,
just the
right.
thrill at all, but it's you know, a view of oneself from outside oneself.
Mm.
You know, a disembodied view.
Yeah, there's a little bit. It's almost really. I actually think it's kind of a version of God, spirit, the God in us. The God that I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't. The word God doesn't ever really resonate with me, but
What is just our ability to change and grow and
no, I mean, like
create.
the aspect of ourself that is witnessing is the aspect
Oh
of
yes.
ourself that is,
Oh yes.
self with the capital S or spirit
Oh
or
yes.
the matrix or the God or goddess or, the higher power, whatever you want, the energy that is everywhere, whatever you want to call that.
Grandfather. Yes.
Um, that it's something, it's that aspect of who we are as humans, it's the spirit aspect of ourselves. It's kind of like able to look at the human aspect.
Well, it's the Holy Ghost. Well, I don't know because I'm Jewish, but the Holy Ghost is like the Shekhinah. It's the feminine aspect of God.
Yeah.
you know, and I just feel like that's so prevalent in our lives. However, we understand it. You said you don't like the word God like that. You
Yeah,
have a
I don't
block
know.
to that, but word it how you will,
Whatever it is, right? That I do believe in something. I absolutely
Yeah,
have, faith and in something. I don't know if faith is the right word, but I definitely believe that there's an animating force that
yeah.
we can't be doing this on our own. We
Right,
can't have
well,
formed this human person into like, whatever, just yeah.
that's
There's
what
something.
Israel, you probably know this, it means God wrestler.
I don't
Did
think
you
I didn't know that, but I don't think I
know
remembered that. Yeah.
that? It was remember the story of Jacob and Esau, and then the mother, Rebecca, um pretends the younger son is like the older son. So she even puts like a chest hair, like from a lamb or whatever. And the father gives his blessing to Jacob, who's younger than Esau. And and then at some point, Jacob falls asleep on a stone. Let's talk about that imagery. Like, what is that? Falls asleep on a stone. And dreams about angels going up and down a ladder, up and down that direction first, and wrestles with the angel, like, tell me your name. And the angel gave Jacob the name Israel, like, and that means God wrestler.
Hmm. Is that the story of Jacob's ladder?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I hope that's correct. And if it's not, I'm sorry. I'm trying to like, it's all mythology, I'm just trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah, it's interesting.
remember.
I'm not that interested. I mean, not that I'm not interested, but I don't necessarily gravitate towards those stories, but they are interesting in the um I don't know, like what it all means, like
Zeitgeist.
like what it means energetically or like, um the essence of it. What is the essence? What are we talking about here? The story itself, the people, the characters don't really matter. It's like what's the essence, like
I've always been really interested in mythologies. And of course, one's own religion, it's harder to see objectively like mythology. But I liked reading about African creation stories or Aboriginal or
Mhm.
Japanese
Mhm.
ways of looking at dreams, and
Mhm.
a whole host of different cultures. And so I am into Bible stories, but I'm into other stories too. Not only
I'm very
Bible stories.
curious to know how other cultures explore dreams or what is different about the way they look at a dream.
Yeah,
That would be an interesting
totally.
discussion. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you'll have to explore that.
Amongst all the million other things I'm
As Robert Moss says, dreams give us homework.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I think there's truth to that and
Yeah.
in a certain way. Yeah. It's good kind of homework. It's like
Oh
digging
yeah. Oh yeah. Because if
instead
you
of
don't want to do it, you don't do it.
what was that?
If you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You get what you give.
Get what you put in. Get what you get, and you don't get upset. All right, Ellen. Well, thank you so much for sharing your
You.
dream.
Thank you.
And it's great to see you as always.
Yeah. And until next time.
Mhm. And listeners, we hope you enjoyed. I always stumble over that word. And we will see you next time.